Good morning, everyone. Shubham Roy. Can you please unmute yourself for a few minutes? Shubham Roy.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
Yes,
I heard
yes.
that you tested corona positive. Is it
Yes,
true?
ma'am. Right now I am fine. Right now I am fine, ma'am. But there are some weaknesses.
No, but
Ma'am.
your test result was positive or negative?
Ma'am, my test result is positive.
Oh. And how is your mother and father? I heard that all of your family members, including you, has been infected.
Yes, ma'am. Right now they are fine, ma'am.
Okay, take care of yourself. One more thing I want to tell everybody. How many of you have filled up the markout fees? How many of you have done? Rishika, you have done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Alekha Roy, you have given.
Yes, ma'am.
Those who have not given, try to give it as soon as possible, since the last date is approaching soon. And you must not, anyone must not keep pending its job. You should complete it within due time. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. And I have completed it, ma'am, already.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Now I'm going to share my, wait. I'm going to share my screen. Is my screen visible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, we have learned about HTTP. Now, today, we will learn about HTTPS file transfer protocol. What is HTTPS file transfer protocol, and how does the file transfer protocol work? That you will learn today. First of all, let me ask every one of you, do you know what is the definition of file transfer protocol? What do you mean by file transfer protocol? If I ask you what is FTP, file transfer protocol, what is the objective of FTP?
Ma'am,
Well,
file transfer protocol is a standard network protocol, and it is used for transfer the computer files between client and server network.
good. Anyone wants to add anything more? Okay. So let me explain. You are correct. File transfer protocol or FTP is a standard internet protocol. It is provided by TCP/IP. That all of you must mention TCP/IP, because there is OSI also. So it is provided by TCP/IP, used for transmitting the files from one host to another host. It is mainly used for transferring the web page files from their creator to the computer that acts as a server for other computers on the internet. It is also used for downloading the files to computers from server. So it is used for downloading purpose also. Now we will learn the objective of I will ask every one of you to please mute yourself. There are noises coming from someone's side. So, why FTP is needed? Although transferring files from one system to another system is very simple and straightforward, but sometimes it can cause problems. For example, two systems may have different file conventions. Two systems may have different ways to representing text and data. Two systems may have a different directory structures. FTP protocol overcomes these problems by establishing two connections between hosts. One connection is used for data transfer and another connection is used for control connection. So these are mainly two types of connection. Now I will share my whiteboard and draw the diagram of FTP. All of you, let me know whether you are able to view my whiteboard. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I am drawing my whiteboard. User, then there is a connection which is called, let me draw that diagram and then I will explain. It is called TCP IP. And then again there is one block. Here also it is connected. Here arrays are not shown because the transfer is bidirectional. So it is not represented by array. And with user we will write this one, another one, and this one. So in this diagram, let me write user interface control process data transfer process. Data transfer process. So these are different parts: user interface, control process, and data transfer process. Here is client. Now here we will write Let me draw, then I will explain. Control process, then this is control process. What will be this? This is data transfer process. Data transfer process. And here, what we write? Here we will write control connection and then here we will write data connection. So this describes the mechanism of FTP. All of you draw this diagram in your notebook. Now let me explain. This diagram shows the basic model of the FTP. The FTP client has three components. The user interface, it is shown, control process, and data transfer process. This is user. Oh, I forget to write. This is server. In one side there is user and in another side there is server. The server has two components, the server control and the server data transfer process. These are the two controls that are available. Now I'm sharing another whiteboard. I think all of you have written, so I'm clearing this. Can I clear this? Okay. Let me draw another part. FTP connections, then this is again a diagrammatic representation. Control connection. Okay. Actually, whenever we talk of FTP connection, we mean control connection as well as data connection. Now, control connection uses very simple rules for communication. Through control connection, we can transfer a line of command or line of response at a time. The control connection is made between the control processes. The control connection remains connected during the entire interactive FTP session. And what about data connection? Data connection uses very complex rules as data types may vary. So the data connection opens when a command comes from transferring the files and choose files when the file is transferred. So this is about data control connection and data connection in FTP connection. Does anyone have any idea about FTP client? Does anyone heard this term FTP client? No? Deepak, can you tell me? You wrote yes in chat box. Can you tell me, do you have any idea FTP client? Anything which you want to describe? Deepak, unmute yourself and speak. Couldn't listen. I think there's a problem in net connection. FTP client is a program that implements a file transfer protocol which allows to transfer file between two hosts on the internet. It allows a user to connect to a remote host and upload or download the files. It has a set of commands that we can use to connect to a host, transfer the files between the sender and the host, or receiver and the host, and close the connection. The FTP program is also available as a built-in component in a web browser. The GUI-based FTP client makes the file transfer very easily and also does not require to remember the FTP command. That is the desirable feature of FTP components. Now we will look at I am again clearing my screen. Let us look at advantages of FTP. What are the advantages of FTP? First one is speed. One of the biggest advantage of FTP is speed. FTP is one of the fastest way to transfer the files from one host to another. Now, second point is efficiency or efficient. What is efficient? It is more efficient as we do not need to complete all the organisms to get the area second time. Now we will learn about another advantage. What is that advantage called? That advantage is called This is security. This is one of the very desirable advantage. To access the FTP server, we need to log in with the Okay, we need to log in with the username and password. Therefore, you'll say that the suppose you're a manager of the company and send some information to all the employees, and they all send information back on the server. So what will happen? It will create an enormous amount of traffic which will be difficult to handle. These are the three advantages of FTP. Now let us look at the disadvantages of it. Now we will discuss the disadvantages of FTP. FTP serves two operations, that is to send and receive large files on a network. However, the size limit of file is 2 GB and can be sent. It uses, do you understand what I want to say? It allows a user to run simultaneous transfers to multiple languages. Passwords and file contents are sent to clear text that allows unwanted eavesdropping. What is eavesdropping? Listening some confidential information between sender and the receiver hurriedly. It is not compatible with every system. FTP is not compatible with all the systems. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of FTP. Let me go back to my slide again. What is HTTPS? This is the formal definition of HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol over Secured Socket Layer. HTTPS, sorry, there's a problem in my mic, sometime I'm getting silent. HTTPS is a combination of HTTP and SSL TLS protocol. HTTP over SSL is a web protocol developed by Netscape. I hope everyone have heard the name of Netscape. It is an organization. HTTP uses one-time encryption keys to encrypt data sent to and received from the server. Anything encrypted with the public key can only be encrypted or decrypted by private key. There are different types of protocol which are followed. In some of the protocol, sender or encoder is sending it is the concept of keys actually, private key and personal key. I am sharing my whiteboard and quickly drawing a diagram. User. This one is user. Then from user we get some user. Then here suppose text is there. insecure connection. User, then normal HTTP. This one is normal HTTP, and here we can say that insecure connection. Then insecure connection. Why? Because sorry, this one is insecure connection because when the user is using normal HTTP, then the connection is insecure. And now if we talk about HTTPS, the same user is having secure HTTPS. This one is secure, and here again user secure HTTPS. Then we will write some text here. Encrypted connection. So this is encrypted connection. Okay. That means when we are using normal HTTP, there is an insecure connection, and when we are using secure HTTPS, then there is a encrypted connection. This is the difference. This shows the how HTTPS protocol is followed to browse or to connect in the network securely. Let us go back to the slide again. The security of HTTPS is that of underlying secure socket layer, which typically uses long-term public key and private key to generate a short-term session key, which is then used to encrypt data between client and server. X509 certificates are used to authenticate the server. How SSL work? Encryption. Encryption is done with the help of private key and public key, and decryption is done with same public key and private key, but you can find that the order is different. Order is different how? That in case of encryption, private key and public key, and decryption is done with same, but public key and private key is used. Encryption and decryption forms a basic part of cryptography. What is HTTPS certificate? Sometimes when we are accessing net, then there is a message that HTTPS is expired, or do you want to view the certificate? Such type of messages pops up. What is that? When you request HTTPS connection to web page, the website will initially send its secured socket layer certificate to the browser. Based on this initial exchange, your browser and the website then initiate the SSL handshake. The SSL handshake involves the generation of shared secret to establish a uniquely secure connection between yourself and website. So, with the help of SSL handshake, secured connection is established. Why is an SSL certificate required? What is the requirement of SSL certificate? All communications sent over regular HTTP connections are in plain text and can be read by any hacker that manages to break into the connection between the browser and the website. So, SSL certification is required, or SSL certificate is required. What are the uses of HTTPS? HTTPS protocol is used in several scenarios: in banking website, in payment gateways, shopping websites, and email apps. HTTPS protocol is used. I have already shared the benefits of file transfer protocol. HTTPS is also a type of file transfer protocol. So some of benefits already you know. Protection, secure visitor personal information, reducing risk of compromised information. Trust, visual everywhere is now a ranking signal and expected to become even more important in future. Compatibility, in the future, popular browsers like Chrome will give warnings for websites using less secure SSL. These are some of the benefits. Customer informations like credit card numbers is encrypted and cannot be intercepted. Visitor can verify that you are the registered business and that we own the domain. Customers are more likely to trust and complete purchase from site than HTTPS. So whenever HTTPS is used, the customer is more likely to trust and complete purchase from HTTPS so as to perform the transaction securely. Since we are learning a type of file transfer protocol, so a little bit about FTP. FTP is the simplest and most secure way to exchange file over the internet. Transferring files from a client computer to a server computer is called uploading, and transferring from a server to a client is called downloading. So this is the concept of uploading and downloading. To access an FTP server, users must be able to connect to internet or an intranet with an FTP client program. FTP does not really move, it copies file from one computer to another. FTP is the file transfer protocol in the internet's TCP/IP protocol suite's application layer. Remember it clearly that it is not OSI, but it is TCP/IP. Features: FTP protocol is used for transferring one file at a time in each direction between the client machine, the one which initiated the collection, that is the calling machine. Initiated means it started the connection, it established the connection, and the server machine which provided the FTP service, that is called machine. The FTP protocol can also form other actions such as creating and deleting directories only if they are empty, listing files, deleting and renaming files, etc. Example, what are different examples of FTTP? Downloading MP3, online games rely heavily on FTP. Other events like auctions and online training use FTP to transact business. FTP is commonly used to transfer web page files from their creator to the computer that acts as their server for everyone on the internet. Problems with FTP. FTP does not interpret the contents of a file transfer in binary mode. This can cause problem. Example, a file of 32 bits floating point number where the representation is different on the two computers. It doesn't use strong authentication. Does anyone wants to ask anything? That is why I am giving a pause of few minutes. If there is no problem, the meeting will end at any time because there is less than a minute. These are the problems that remain with FTP. I think there is no question from anyone in the chat section also. I cannot find any. So I am ending this meeting. Okay.